Right, this is a video of how to solder a joint. I've cut a piece of pipe out. It's actually a cold water pipe, cold mains into the house. And basically this is how to replace the piece of pipe, solder and test it. Basically what I've noticed on YouTube is people have got plenty of videos of how to solder a pipe, but it's all done on the bench. This is actually a working pipe, a pipe in practice. This is how to replace a piece of pipe. Right, first thing you do, pipe's been cut out, you've got to clean the ends of the pipe. So get a piece of steel wool or something similar, clean the pipes. There's a pipe coming up through here, so we'll clean the end of that as well. Give a good clean so the solder will stick. Okay, the next thing, if you set the pipe up dry, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put an elbow on this piece of pipe here, and because it's the joist is in the way, rather than cut more out of the joist, because these are steel joists with a piece of wood on top, I'm going to use a male to female fitting. It's called an M&F, street elbow. There's different names it can be called. Then what you want to do is measure your piece of pipe. So you get your tape measure, you measure from the fitting to the piece of pipe, and that is 240 millimeters. So then what we do, we get our pipe, measure 240 millimeters. I'll use my thumb, the nail, I use my nail as a marker. Then we get our pipe cutter. Now the pipe cutter I'm going to be using for this is what they call a pipe slice. It's basically a self-locking cutter. There's all different types of cutters. This is only designed to cut 15 mil. There is 22 mil version. So what I do, I've still got my nail, my finger. So I line the center of the pipe slice up with my nail and clip it on. And then all you do is twist. And that's it, pipe cut. Just check it for length, it's perfect. Now, what we want to do, get the pipe again, clean the ends of the pipe. Both ends cleaned. You can see, nice and clean. Now, what we want to do next, get our flux. Now the flux I'm using is Laco. Now with it being a water pipe, there's different types of solder. I'm using lead-free solder to solder the pipe. So what we need to do is get some flux. Actually, first thing we need to do is clean the fittings. So we clean the outside of that one. We'll put the steel wool in. There is different ways of doing this. There's brushes, all sorts with wires on the end to clean it. So that's the M&F cleaned. Inside of the elbow, clean. The other end is clean. So everything's clean. We need a connector. So there's a connector for joining the pipe. So again, clean the connector, both ends. That's clean. Now, you get some flux, you can use a brush. I'm going to brush the hand, so all I'm going to do is add the flux to the pipe with the solder. Just run it round. Okay. Now I'll put a bit of flux on the inside of the fitting as well. Some people tell you not to, some people do. I've been a plumber for 35 years. And I obviously just do it. Now, what I've found is this pipe here is the old 1/2 inch and our new pipe. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just tap the fitting on, just a slightly different size. Just tap the fitting on, and that's into position. You can buy fittings that will reduce them down and change them, but the difference in them is so little, there's no need to. So the next thing I'm going to do is flux the pipe. Put a bit of flux inside the elbow and put that on the end of the pipe. Now, I'll just leave that 1 second. Now I'm going to get the M&F or street elbow, whatever you want to call it, flux inside, and then put a little bit of flux around the pipe. It's coming up through the ceiling. So I pop that fitting on there, which is on in position. I will now flux the stem part of the elbow. I will now put a bit of flux on this piece of pipe here. I shall then put that into position. That's in. I'll twist it, the elbow around. And line it up with the street elbow. I will then push it down into the joist into position, slightly raised. Now, all ready to solder. So, I'm using what they call MAP gas, slightly hotter than propane, but it's my preferred gas on a blowtorch. Now, you can use butane. The only problem with butane is butane in the winter time can be it can flare up. It's something to do with the temperature, the boiling temperature of the gases. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to heat up the connector first, down on top of it, 3/4 of the way down the lamp, and then just feed some solder around the joint, right? Some solder around the joint. Okay, basically that's our joint soldered. Very, very, very simple. Not rocket science, to be honest. So, right, I'm now going to solder the elbow. It's a little bit more difficult in behind the joist. So, I'm going to get some heat onto the top fitting first. Because basically it'll generate heat and pass down through the lock. So if I solder that one, what you got to be careful of is you don't overheat. If you overheat, the fitting will go black. I'm just going to run out a little bit more solder. The top two are being soldered. The only one I've got to solder now, I've just bent the solder over slightly. I'm now feeding it around the joint behind the joist. Put plenty of solder on it. It's easier to put, as I always say, it's easier to put a bit of solder on than water coming through your ceiling. So basically that is all there is to making a joint below the floors. Very simple, nothing to it. If you follow these instructions, you should have no problem whatsoever. If you need any assistance, don't hesitate to give me a shout and give us a thumbs up if you like this video. And thank you.